You're watching E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, this is Rob, this is E.T.N, and this video we're going to be doing a review for the third episode of Wandavision. Now I know it's late, and I know a lot of people are not going to jump to this video because everyone's on a Godzilla vs. Kong craziness, but this is Entertainment Talk Nation, and this is where we do all entertainment related topics. And I'm hoping Friday I can do my WandaVision review on the same day I watch it. But we'll see what happens with the whole Godzilla run right now. This episode was okay. I understand this show is getting a lot of flack right now. There's a lot of people who love it, but there seems to be a lot more people who hate it. They don't like the slow burn. I get that. And you really have to have a good knowledge of not only the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but even the comics. I mean, you got a lot of Easter eggs in this show, a lot of Easter eggs. I mean, this show is more like a setup for what's to come than a show in and of itself. Once again, what I'm taking the most enjoyment out of in this show is Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen and their performance. Again, I love that. That is actually what's keeping me on the show. The story element, not so much, because the story is really again, it is a slow burn, and I don't mind slow burns. I mean, we've had plenty of shows like that turn out to be fantastic. But this slow burn is a little bit different because I don't know. I feel like the episodes are too short, even though you're getting like a 35-minute episode. Think about how long the end credit is. Like once they start rolling the credits, that is so long. Then you got the intro. By the time you condense that, you're losing like about an additional 4 to 5 minutes. Now, this episode, the reason I wasn't too high up on it was because there is a particular scene in this episode between Wanda and her friend Geraldine, who is also Monica Rambeau. And this really they overplay it. It goes way too long. And I kind of feel like they were kind of filling in the gaps here to try and buy time. There are some interesting things that happen in this episode that once again continue to pour breadcrumbs on the trail for you to follow. For example, one of the opening scenes where we find out Wanda is pregnant and she's going through this she's going through her pregnancy at a rapid pace. And, Vision is outside. He's talking to his neighbor, and his neighbor is kind of acting weird, and he's cutting through like the wall. It's almost like he's trying to get his attention, but he doesn't really say anything. He just has this weird look, almost like he's possessed. Then later, as Wanda is still going through this pregnancy, once again, he's outside, and there's a conversation between both his neighbors. Agnes and Herb are kind of talking to each other, and he approaches them, and they're being very ambiguous. And they mention how Geraldine doesn't have a home and things of that nature. And then when you sit back and you think about it, you realize, yeah, we've never actually seen Geraldine anywhere near a house or even her home for that matter. But then again, it's like, is that a big deal? I mean, it's mainly been focused on Wanda and Vision. And when we have seen their neighbors, there are other neighbors that we have seen that we haven't seen necessarily inside their house or see them near their home until we saw Herb. So while I understand that that's supposed to be a clue of some sort, it's not necessarily out of, it's not necessarily weird so far in this show that Geraldine doesn't have a home in the sense that you really haven't seen it. I mean, for that matter, you can argue that there's a lot of other neighbors we've seen and spend more time with that don't have a home. So just little things like that. But once again, if you have knowledge of the MCU, if you have knowledge of the comics, then that's really what kind of keeps you hooked. And it's kind of unfortunate. You want the show to develop a story and to develop things that actually hook you into the show itself, not necessarily be hooked on the show because it's a Marvel Cinematic Universe lead-in or tie-in to something coming. So, I'm going to continue to watch because, of course, I'm following the trail, but I can't say that I'm watching because I'm interested in anything other than Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen and their performance as Wanda and Vision themselves. So, we're going to see. I'm hoping it gets better. And there are some good Easter eggs here. And there are some good things that happen that kind of continue to kind of tell you that something's weird. Towards the end, Monica Rambeau, or rather Geraldine, is having a conversation with Wanda. She mentions her brother dying, and then it kind of pauses. And then Geraldine looks at her and says, he died to Ultron, right? And then Wanda kind of got a little bit scary, got a little bit creepy. She's very serious. I thought she was going to strike her down or something. And then she just ends up pushing her out of some sort of teleportation, and Geraldine lands outside what looks to be a big complex with some sort of shield around it. So it's kind of like obviously Wanda's built this world, and it seems like there are probably SWORD surrounding it, maybe trying to either keep her in there or trying to get to her. I'm not sure, but that's what we're watching for, to find out what that is. So, but anyway, guys, if you saw the third episode of WandaVision, what do you think? What do you think about the show overall? And let me know in the comments. I'll be interested to see what you have to say. Until the next one, this is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Click here to watch more content. Don't forget to leave a comment. Also, make sure you like and share this video. If you want to know when the next video is up, click the notification bell next to the subscribe button. And most of all, make sure to click that subscribe button for regular content.